Welcome to the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. Nobody brings you more comprehensive coverage of high school sports in Middle Tennessee than Main Street Preps. Today's show is brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, please welcome the host of the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show.
It has all come down to this. Time for the TSSAA BlueCross Bowls. Thanks for joining us today on the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. I'm Russell Vannozi, here to talk about all of the championship games. We are also going to interview Pearl-Cohn coach Tony Brunetti in just a moment. His team is trying for its first state title since 1997. Glad to be here today, brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, just as we have been all season long. That's where fans don't let fans drive drunk is the slogan. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. A lot to get to here. We're going to bring Tony into the show. He's been kind enough to take some time out of his busy week. Tony, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
So, Tony, you guys are heading back to Chattanooga for the second straight year. What does it mean to get that opportunity again to play in that game?
I think it's a blessing, to have a chance to go, to the state finals anyway. Any year is a blessing. But to get back-to-back years, I think it just don't happen too often. But for us, we've been blessed. It is happening.
And, of course, that game is set for Saturday at 11 a.m. kickoff Eastern time at Chattanooga's Finley Stadium. It'll be Pearl-Cohn at 14-0 versus Upperman at 14-0. And we'll get to that matchup in just a moment here with Tony. But I want to wind back the clock on you to last year. Of course, falling short in that Class 4A state title game against Anderson County. You guys were right there until the end, had a lead in the third quarter. How tough was that to come that close? It was the closest Pearl-Cohn has been to a title since you've been in charge there.
That's a tough loss. I think you had opportunities to hold on and finish the game, and then we didn't, and we had some turnover. We had a turnover late in the game to kind of turn the tide a little bit, but the kids still fought all the way to the last 15 seconds of the game. That's all you can ask.
Certainly, and when I was talking to a lot of the players on this year's team, including Zion Simpson-Smith and Malachi Cromwell after last week's win over Haywood, they were both adamant that, man, that loss last year has fueled everything you guys have done this offseason. And they don't want, they want a better result this time. I guess, do you kind of get the sense that this is a team on a mission, a team really determined to win it all this year?
Yeah, I think the loss hurt a lot last year, and that fueled them in the offseason to continue working hard. We always believe in taking one game at a time, and that's how we've been approaching the whole season, one game at a time. But the purpose was to get back to the state and have a chance to win it. And the senior class has done a good job leading.
So as I mentioned, two undefeated teams set to square off in this game. And what did you make of Upperman's win over Greenville in the semifinals, Tony? And what have you sort of learned about Upperman since then?
No, I think they're just a tough team. I think they're a rugged team. I think they work hard together as a team unit. They play good team defense. And they do. They're a downhill team. And I think they did a good job of fundamentally set up a good game plan to beat Greenville.
And shifting the focus back to your team, you guys are the only program in the state with two Mr. Football finalists there, with the aforementioned Zion Simpson-Smith and also senior quarterback Keyshawn Tarleton. Why do you think each of those guys are deserving of that Mr. Football award?
They've led so much on both sides of the ball. The things they've done, Keyshawn's done it for 3 years now. And Zion this year has been fun. He played well last year, but this year has been a phenomenal, man. Like, as a leader, it's been outstanding. We moved him from different positions. He didn't complain about it. And at the beginning of the year, he gave it up on both sides of the ball. Any position on offense that needed him to do, he would say, put me there, coach, and I'll do it. And the same thing on defense. But now I think that the kids are really seeing his leadership, and they buying in because he's telling them, I'm all in, I need y'all in. And his teammates are coming with him. That's what a leader, that's what a football person must do. Same thing for Keyshawn on offense.
Yeah, certainly impressive what both of those guys have done. And Zion hardly coming off the field there as part of that three-headed backfield that you've got. He's got some help from Malachi Cromwell and Javion Kennard. And that group was finally healthy last week, and it really showed on the field. They combined for over 300 total yards and 7 touchdowns. How valuable is it having 3 guys to work with there at running back?
Oh, valuable, real valuable. And now when we get next to running back behind them, who's a sophomore, he played the whole second half against CPA. He's back. and he'll be dressing this weekend. Marion Storm, so we have another fourth back that can play.
Yeah, on that note, I know entering last year's Blue Cross Bowl, there were a lot of injury issues cropped up, and you guys weren't able to necessarily practice all that hard, just trying to keep guys healthy, try to have some people available. This time around, I know Grayson Beach is out for the year, linebacker who had a shoulder injury, but where do you guys stand injury-wise ahead of Saturday?
Losing Grayson was big, but other kids have stepped up. But for the most part, healthy-wise, we pretty much, even the kid that got hurt in the game, he'll be back too. So we should be pretty full throttle.
And that defense of yours is only giving up 9 points a game, and I understand that in those Monday practices, they have to run, or the whole team has to run sprints for each point given up. Take me through how you guys got that started, and maybe how that sort of motivates the guys to keep the other team off the board as much as possible.
I guess it really kind of started really more in the second half of the season, started doing that in the playoffs. But just challenging them, man. Understand sense of accountability, but also some pride of not giving up points, because we feel like the defense not giving up points, we got a major chance of winning the ball game in the other two phases of the game.
I mentioned at the top of the show about Pearl-Cohn's last state title coming in 1997. Of course, they won the year before in 1996 as well. And those teams were coached by Maurice Fitzgerald, had legendary players like Santonio Beard and John Henderson. And I'm sure you love hearing about those, Tony, but at some point you want one of your groups to join that status there as state champions. I mean, what would it mean for this year's team to be the one to break through and make history for Pearl-Cohn?
I think it makes history. Making the history is for them themselves. I think they played for themselves and played for their teammates, but also they played for the school and this community. And if you have a chance a shot at winning it this year and be in a good situation to compete to win it, you still got to go play. You still got to take care of business. But to have a chance to win it would be major for this community. This community will erupt. We got a lot of pride here. A lot of pride.
Yeah, and East Nashville too will be down there in Chattanooga for the second straight year, trying to go for its first state title there, and having two Metro teams back-to-back years. I mean, what does that kind of say about the level of play right now?
I love my buddy.
I was just asking for water.
Mr. Head Coach Harris.
That's right. Former Pearl-Cohn staffer there.
We all been together. Him and Coach Woods, we all been together over 12, 13 years. No, we all still good friends. I wish him well.
And of course, for all you guys as football coaches, no matter where you're coaching, there's a lot of more things that aren't in the job description that you have to do, including interviews like this. So I appreciate that. But it's especially true at Pearl-Cohn, where a lot of the students are dealing with other things in their lives, like coming from different family situations or maybe some financial difficulties. How much do you view it as a responsibility to be a mentor, to be a father figure for those players? And I mean, how seriously do you take that kind of responsibility?
I think the biggest thing with that is that we take a lot of pride as a staff to help be there for our kids in school and outside of school, to be there when they need the little things. Just to talk to somebody for a minute. We've always been that way with these kids because a lot of them only have mothers and they have a lot of siblings. And so we had to be a lot more involved as father figures and leaders by example. And I think that's what we bring to the table with them. And they know that we care about them and love them. That's why they play hard for us and we work hard for them.
You've gotten, of course, a lot of players onto the college football ranks, and several of this year's players will join them next year as well. How helpful is it to have extra games like this, to have more film, to put your players on a big stage like this? I think
it's big. I think it's big, man, because this group already got a lot of film, but to have more film, people really see them on a big picture, how they've been playing all year, and that's big for them to have, I think, more opportunities to come to them.
Well, Tony, we are looking forward to seeing how it shakes out on Saturday. Appreciate the time and good luck against Upperman.
Well, I appreciate y'all letting me come on. I appreciate everybody giving me a chance to talk about these guys, and you be blessed. Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to do it. And we saved the best for last there. I wanted to have Tony on at some point this season. I kept saying, you know what, they're probably going to make it to Chattanooga. Let's see if we can wait another week. And here we are on what's now the final episode of the Main Street Preps high school football show of the season. Glad to get to talk to Tony and talk some Pearl-Cohn football. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and preview all 9 Blue Cross Bowls.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
As an Allstate agent in Gallatin, Larry Maynard knows many local families. His knowledge and understanding of the people in this community helps them provide customers with outstanding service. Give Larry a call at 615-452-1500. Macon Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Gallatin Green Wave. For over 100 years, Macon Bank and Trust has offered a true hometown banking experience to help you meet your financial goals. We are local people with local decision-making and ready to serve you.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. With our world-class physicians, Houston Clinic Orthopedics will have you back enjoying your life in no time. From ortho care to physical therapy and more. Visit our website to book an appointment. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Craving the juiciest, most delicious burgers in Dixon? Look no further. Luke's Burgers and Breakfast has got you covered. Whether you're in the mood for a mouth-watering cheeseburger or a breakfast burrito, we have it all. Our secret? Only the freshest ingredients, cooked to perfection every time. So why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Come on down to Luke's Burgers and Breakfast, where every bite is an experience.
All right, let's dive into some previews now for the Blue Cross Bowl state championship games that'll be played down in Chattanooga Thursday through Saturday at Finley Stadium. Great venue. It's been hosted there the last 2 years. I've really enjoyed the experience both times. I think fans have too, despite maybe some travel that's involved. If you're coming from the west side of the state or even from the middle part of the state, it is a little bit of a journey there, but a great facility and a great event put on by the TSSAA. Of course, we've got to start with, let's just go in order here. We got to start with the Division II private school games that will kick off Thursday morning real early. So if you're heading down to that CPA game, you know what I'm talking about. It's probably a 6 a.m. wake up time, maybe a 5 a.m. Maybe you need to leave at 6 depending on traffic. I've still got to do that math for myself before I head down there tomorrow. But it's a 10 a.m. kickoff Central Time and 11 a.m. Eastern. We're just going to stick with Eastern for the sake of simplicity here moving forward. But that first game is Boyd Buchanan versus CPA. Great coaching matchup here. You've got a legendary Tennessee wins leader, Gary Rankin, on the Boyd Buchanan side. Then you've got Ingle Martin on the CPA side. Of course, all the success he's had there has been something to see after wrapping up his playing career in the NFL. And CPA's senior class has a chance to bookend their careers with state titles. As freshmen, when a lot of those guys were just role players or maybe special teams guys, maybe just standing on the sideline, kind of taking it all in as freshmen, that team won a state title in 2020. And then, of course, last year's team and the 2021 team both lost to Lipscomb Academy in the state finals. So for guys like Cruz Law, Jackson Matthews, John Wayne Oliver, they're looking to go out on a high note. And it won't be easy. Boyd Buchanan, those teams coached by Gary Rankin know how to get it done at the Blue Cross Bowl. And they've had a perfect season so far at 13-0, but I think CPA is going to find a way in this one. And I'm picking them 28-17 to win it over Boyd Buchanan. How about Division II Single A and all mid-state final here? Middle Tennessee Christian versus Friendship Christian. And of course, Middle Tennessee Christian's only lost the year. They are 11-1, was to Friendship Christian, a 16-14 defeat way back on September 22nd. That was a great game. I'm expecting another close one here. Friendship Christian's Tyson Walcott had a phenomenal season on offense and defense he's a Mr. Football finalist. The rushing yards every week have been something to see. It seems like it's been over 200, sometimes even over 300. And he also has the TSSAA's single season touchdown rushing record at 42. So congrats to him on that. I think MTCS's big assignment here is going to be just finding a way to keep Walcott maybe under 200 yards. I think would be a win there. And if they can do that, and if Eli Wilson can get some yards of his own, I think MTCS is going to avenge that loss that they had earlier in the season. And I'm going to give them, with my pick here, a 24-21 edge over Friendship Christian. Another heavyweight matchup now in Division II AAA, McCallie versus Baylor. McCallie enters at 11-1. having beat Baylor earlier in the season, 34-31 for what that's worth. And the matchup that I'm looking at for this game is the quarterback battle between Vanderbilt commitments Jeremy St. Hilaire on the Macaulay side and Whit Muschamp on the Baylor side. Lots of other Power 5 talent on the field as well. Both those guys have plenty of weapons to work with. Should be some points scored in this one, just like there was in the regular season meeting. Should be a great crowd as well. Both are Chattanooga schools, and it's a home game for both of them. So I think the stadium might be as packed as any that we've seen so far through the first now 2 years of Chattanooga. I believe the Tullahoma Elizabethton game 2 years ago might have been the biggest crowd I've seen. Macaulay and Baylor have both brought big crowds when they played NBA each of the last couple of years, but this game might take the cake there. It's going to be a tough ticket, so make sure you get there early if you're heading into Finley Stadium for that one. But I'm going to side with how things went in the regular season here. Don't want to take a gamble on teams I haven't seen a whole lot, so I'm going Macaulay 35, Baylor 31. Should be a fantastic game there, though. And then if you're a creature of habit and you like things staying the same, how about the Class 3A title game, Alcoa versus East Nashville for the third straight year. It's an 11 a.m. Eastern start on Friday, December 1st. And it's Alcoa won those first two meetings. They've got 8 straight state titles now. East Nashville certainly stood in there in both the previous meetings. And I think last year they had maybe their best chance. I think even into the fourth quarter, they were still in that game. It was in doubt at that point, but man, Alcoa just finds a way every year. Now they've got Brian Nix as their coach, who took over for Gary Rankin a couple years ago. He's picked right up where Rankin left off. And really, East Nashville's Damian Harris, who Tony mentioned earlier in the show, he's done the same thing, stepping right in after coming over from Pearl-Cohn as an assistant. It's got East Nashville back in this game for the third straight year with a lot of new players, and I think that's commendable. But, man, Alcoa, they've got some great players on their team. Eli Owens and Brandon Witten Jr. make for some good weapons for Cody Pagak, the quarterback, who's an Independence transfer. So those of us from around here remember him from last year. And I think just all of that considered could be the closest game of these 3 meetings. But I've got to give Alcoa an edge here, siding with history and going Alcoa 35, East Nashville 28 there for my pick. Let's take another quick break, and then we'll come back with previews and picks for the rest of the Blue Cross Bowls. So stick around for that.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Welcome to the GR Group at Cry Like Realtors. Our team is comprised of seasoned veterans, military spouses, and other real estate professionals with strong ties to the military community. We specialize in helping our clients buy and sell homes, as well as providing comprehensive services for commercial and land properties. Whether you're relocating to the area interested in buying or selling a home, or looking for commercial or land properties, the GR Group has the expertise and resources to help you achieve your real estate goals. Contact the GR Group today.
Founded in 2005, Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, has a reputation of consistently offering the lowest possible rates and, above all, providing outstanding customer service. Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, takes pride in treating our clients with honesty and integrity. We provide excellent service and experience you can trust for all your mortgage needs, proudly serving all of Tennessee. Apply today. Call Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, 858-518-1506, or online at www.firstlendingonline.com.
NMLS number 314276, ID 135932.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
Moving right along with Blue Cross Bowl previews and predictions. We're sticking with the Friday games right now. With Class 1A up next, it's South Pittsburgh versus McKenzie, a rematch of the 2021 state title game. And that's the theme throughout here. There's a lot of teams that have been in the finals either the last couple years or back-to-back years, or some of the games are even the same. So it's a lot of similar customers, and I think that's always interesting. It would be cool to get some more first-timers in there, and we do have a few of those we'll talk about in a moment here. But South Pittsburgh enters at 14-0, McKenzie at 13-1. And the Pirates are looking for their 7th straight state title. McKenzie is trying for its second straight too. They won last year, their first ever. So after a year off, though, I like South Pittsburgh to win this game, and I think it'll be a close one, though, maybe a one-score game. And so I'm giving it to the Pirates 31-24. Class 5A, this is a rematch of last year's title game that Knoxville West kind of ran away with 47-13. I would honestly be shocked if Page gave up that many points this time around. They, are only averaging maybe about 10 points a game. They're only allowing about 10 points a game. And they've got a great defense led by Eric Hazard, who had a couple big sacks last week, including one on the final play of regulation that helped push Southwind back for a longer field goal that they missed at the buzzer, allowing Page to hold on for a 10-7 win. Of course, they've got Brendan Anez as well. Got a great offensive line there with Ronan O'Connell leading the way, Clemson commitment. And so we'll see if Page can fare better this time around. I'm not sure how much has changed since last year. It's a lot of the same guys on both sides, certainly some graduations, but given how big that margin was last year, I've got to stick with Knoxville West here. I think it will be a closer game this time around. I'm going West 24, Page 17. Now let's go on to the Saturday games, the final 3 games of the high school football season here in Tennessee. Upperman versus Pearl-Cohn is up first at 11 a.m., like we talked about earlier in the show. 2 unbeaten teams. Upperman, I believe this is their first trip to the Blue Cross Bowl, so congratulations to them for that. And they've got a couple of guys who have over 1,000 yards rushing. That's running back Ethan Polk and quarterback Bronson Chaffin. They've combined for 27 rushing touchdowns this season. And Chaffin can also throw it some through the air. He's got about 1,300 passing yards. So there is a dual threat aspect there to the quarterback that Pearl-Cohn will need to account for. But I think this is the Firebirds' year. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Tony Brunetti's had a lot of great teams, tons of Power 5 and college talent come through his program. They lost in 2015 to Knoxville Catholic, lost again in 2019 to Alcoa, and then lost last year to Anderson County. And the 4th time, I think, is going to be the charm for Pearl-Cohn under Tony Brunetti. I've got the Firebirds taking this one 34-24, and we'll just see how that one plays out. Next up is East Robertson versus Riverside for the Class 2A state title. East Robertson 13-1, playing for its first ever state championship in football. Riverside, of course, solid program as well. I'm not sure, though, that they're going to be able to keep up with what East Robertson's going to roll out there with, of course, Isaiah Groves running back, and then his brother Elijah at wide receiver and linebacker. They've also got Dallas Caffrey, a super productive senior linebacker who had a key fumble return for a touchdown last week to help East Robertson win at York Institute, which certainly was not an easy task there. York Institute was undefeated and ranked in our MSP top 25 at the time of that game. But, man, what Chase Brooks has done in just 2 years at East Robertson is really impressive, and I think the Indians are going to pull this one out to get a football state title to go with their recent basketball and baseball state championships. I'm going East Robertson 27, Riverside 24. And then the capper to the season, Oakland is back again. They've won 3 straight Class 6A state titles. They are going to take on Houston, which completely dismantled Brentwood last week in the semifinals 28-0. So Oakland's got its work cut out for itself in this game. But Patriots have been there before. Kevin Creasy is possibly the best coach in Tennessee. You can make that argument, certainly, with what he's done in Murfreesboro over the last several years. And they've also got 2 great running backs in DeJuan Morris and Ashton Jones, who entering the semifinal round had combined for 43 touchdowns. Rushing, I think they're closer to 50 now after what they did last week at Bradley Central. And I've got to take Oakland here. Be silly not to, even though Houston's had a great season, got a great team, and could very well give them a good run in this game. I'm going Oakland 35, Houston 21. And Oakland did lose 2 games this year, so they are not unbeatable. They lost at Center Grove, a powerhouse in Indiana, and they also lost to Riverdale in the regular season. and then turned around and beat Riverdale 56-0 in the playoffs, like we talked about a couple weeks ago. So we'll see how that one goes, but certainly Oakland has got to enter as the favorite just based on what they've done entering that game. So for my picks this year, 109 and 39 overall is where I stand entering this final week. Brady McIntyre, our Clarksville sports editor, is all but locked up the title. He's 6 games ahead, and I don't see how mathematically it'd be possible to even – I guess technically it is mathematically possible, but if we picked enough of the same results here, there's no way that I can make up that much ground, so it's likely going to be a second-place finish for me. Disappointing, but hey, we do the best we can with these picks. High school football, sometimes these results are pretty hard to pin down and unpredictable things happen, which is what makes the games interesting. What's going to make the Blue Cross Bowls interesting. Hopefully we get some good games down there. Of course, we'll be down there with full coverage of the events. I'll be there along with Chris Yao and Maurice Patton, who will be doing live shows, previewing and recapping each of the games. So be sure to stay tuned to mainstreetpreps.com, as well as our social channels on Twitter and Facebook to check all that out. We've also got Tommy Bryan and David Wilson doing some down and back trips to cover their teams. So we've got you covered from wall to wall there down in Chattanooga. Looking forward to it. Thanks for tuning in all year to the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show as well. I've appreciated the support. Enjoyed getting on here and talking to coaches and players and making some picks for games every week. So thanks for being here. Stay tuned to mainstreetpreps.com for the rest of our high school football coverage, and take care.
You've been watching the Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show. Nobody brings you more comprehensive coverage of high school sports in Middle Tennessee than Main Street Preps. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest news about high school football. The Main Street Preps High School Football Preview Show is brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.